Welcome everyone to our room. It's been such a while since I've done a room. I have changed my name, reclaimed my name. Not Mary Costello anymore. Mary Bridget O'Donoghue. That is my birth name, my two grandmothers, and my father's name. So anyway, just that, get that out of the way. So I haven't been here in some time. I have been in active embodiment and my own personal stuff, which I think is happening all around. And the level of the deepening of how we are able to speak and how we are able to present, and the strengthening, the fortification. I feel it in my bones. I feel like we're going to really enjoy that today between myself and Coco. So wanting to introduce who she does not need any introduction. She's well known, but Coco, my dear friend Coco, Oya Sienna Ray. Let me give some story of Coco, but you will see she is a living story, likely to change and evolve at any second. And she is the author of Digging for Bones. She's just published this book. She's published in other areas too, but this is her baby at the moment, right? She's in the UK. She's a mother, grandmother, creative, mystic, soul guide, and writer. She is a tantric devotee. Let's talk about that, Coco. That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And a voice of the divine feminine, and a deep and pure and rich voice of the mother. Okay, I read in your words, Coco, how you are here to remind us of the sacred wisdom of the body, which I would love to speak about, because it's all about embodiment right now and fortification and being who we actually are and believing in who we are, and the embodiment of soul. So talking about that soul, because that's, you know, maybe we have spent some time in the realm of spirit, and let's talk about the word soul. Okay, my dear Coco, blessings to you. You're so welcome.
Thank you, Mary. I'm so excited to be here, honest to God. As we were speaking earlier, you can tell I'm in such a giddy mood because I just feel so present with myself right now, just so full of myself. And yeah, and the irony being, I thought I'd done this with you already.
Me too.
Being on your show.
Just presumed.
It's like we've already been there somewhere, I'm telling you. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's really good to be here in this moment.
Yeah. Gorgeous moment. Yeah, I presumed we had done this before. And I just had to go check back. I was like, oh, I haven't done this with Coco. So there's always perfect timing, right? So we have so many, we could talk about anything, honestly, forever, for hours, and just get ourselves into a laughing frenzy. So I guess I would love to just offer you, Coco, what is really on your mind or your heart to speak about
Mm.
today? What feels like the thing that wants to be spoken?
So much. Oh my God. The last few weeks and even just the last few days, I don't even know what time is anymore. Since I connected with you and you did a clearing on me, oh my God, I feel so crystal clear and
Sparkling.
sparkling,
Mm,
sparkling, and just really feeling the essence of what people would call superhuman, supernatural, just being the true essence of what an actual human body can do.
mm.
And I spoke to you earlier about I bilocated today. Oh, not today, yesterday. I don't know what day it is.
Come back, Coco. Come back. We have an
It's
interview
like,
to do.
come back, Coco, come back. I bilocated to my address in Leeds for a few seconds
Wow.
the other day, and it was so palpable and it was just so alive and real.
Mm,
And at first I thought I was like having like a vision or a sense of um like astro traveling or something. And I thought,
yeah.
oh, that were a bit weird because I was like walking to the shop, but then I could
Mm,
feel my essence in my other aspect in that timeline and I could feel myself here. And then it
mhm.
went woof. When I brought my mind into it, it just collapsed back on itself. But it was
Yeah.
that sense of, oh, this is where we're going when consciousness can go beyond the extent of the body can go, you know what I mean? The whole universe
Yeah.
becomes your playground. And so it was like
Yes.
just that sense of, oh, this is the sense of being embodied, but beyond
Mm.
the confines of the physical form. And I've like
Wow.
wanted that for so long, as in a conscious thing, because
Mm.
I've done it when in my childhood, when I used to get traumatized and abused, I would leave my body
Yeah.
and be outside. But that was like a different flavor of doing
Mm-hmm.
that. And then when my trauma used to get too much, in like my 20s and 30s, I totally disassociated. It was like
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't fully in my body, even though I knew it was operating. It was like I could switch it off. So it was like, again,
Mm-hmm.
this sense of disappearing, but
Yeah.
being here. And then the other one was like being here, but not in the body. And it was like those two things came
Mm-hmm.
together. Um, yeah, it was quite extraordinary.
Yeah.
And I was kind of laughing about it with a friend because I put a call out to a friend that said, I'm going to try it again to see if I can
Yeah.
consciously, but if you don't hear of me in a few days,
Come get me.
come find me in the ether somewhere. Because it was, yeah, just an extraordinary um, remembrance
Mm.
of our full human potential, and
Yeah.
that we are here and we will like lose language, we will be more telepathic, more sensitive, more connected to things, and just understanding using the geometry of this matrix, because that's what we
Mm.
travel on the road, right? These what have been called ley lines, or
Mm.
they're like obsolete now, or not
Mm.
obsolete, but they're really dense. And so this
Mm-hmm.
matrix that's coming in, these fine, like, what do you call them?
Like song lines?
Song
Could you put?
lines, tram
Yeah.
lines. What? So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's just like, oh wow, we can actually walk between time or call
That is.
things in.
Yeah.
And it's almost like the understanding's falling in fully now, because I've
Mm-hmm.
done like ancestral things before, and I've done like, projecting myself, but this was like a new thing of, oh, this is normal to like go, oh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna pop over there. Gonna pop to the shops and like just be in the shops. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
Oh
jump
wow.
back. It was just like, oh, this is what we do, right? Um, and so
Mm.
yeah, it just feels like that is birthing. And I know that's because the work that we did the other day was
Mm-hmm.
around clearing the like masculine and paternal
Mm-hmm.
side of my family, because there was just
Mm.
some wonky stuff going on, and I won't go into some
Yeah.
personal family things. And I just thought,
Mm-hmm.
no, the men's field needs to be cleared. It needs to be done. And
Yes.
so when I came to you, I was almost like, I can't do this alone.
Mm.
I don't know what I'm looking
Yeah.
at right now, but I can feel it.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's an imprint that needs to go.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we cleared it and we cleared it and we
Mm.
kept clearing it. And like the
Mm.
full pictures of what I was seeing then was that it was an implant. It was a false implant that had been brought in through my father's side.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this is what I think is happening now when those things are cleared, because it's almost like having parasites, as in
Mm.
we get infiltrated and implanted with things that aren't in our normal bloodlines,
Yeah.
and like clearing the blood.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like the steps over the last few months where I did some work with Sarah Powell around connecting to the blood of the earth, and then a
Beautiful.
clearing with you around the blood, and then this, and it
Mm.
was like, oh, the blood,
Yeah.
like the bloodlines. How could I not think of that in my body?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When because I've had a hereditary blood disorder, and no one knew where it came
Okay.
from. Oh my God. I'll say
Mm.
because it's a Middle Eastern bloodline.
Okay.
Oh my God, I'm getting now. And the doctors used to
Now
say,
it all makes
oh,
sense.
yeah, where has that come from? Because it's only
Yeah.
found in like Middle Eastern countries or Asia. I used to think I don't know. Um, I don't
Wow.
know what. Sorry, so laughing about because it's all making sense now.
It's all
But
making
yeah.
sense.
So when we've cleared the
Mm,
blood, I really
yeah.
feel like that's either come out of my body or I'm using the transformation of that to do the work that we spoke about before with
Yeah.
that bloodline.
This is so
Which,
powerful. There's
yeah,
so
it's
much in
just
what you said, Coco.
all dropping
But
in. And this
yeah.
is what's happening. It's like all the threads are coming back so cohesively to me that
Mm.
every single thing that I've done in my life
Mm.
all fits in. It's like nothing was by um I was gonna say nothing was by coincidence, but the word that wanted to come out was by design. And I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because it's like I'm finding my real design without
Yes.
the imprints. The imp
Mm.
and I'm emanating that template now.
Yeah.
It's the template. And it
Yeah.
feels like, oh, I'm fully getting the template in my body now, what I'm supposed to carry as a leader. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just feeling that there's a certain group of women like yourself, like me, that are like
Mm-hmm.
pushing through this ceiling that we reach with womanhood, sisterhood, wounding, whatever, because oh my
Yeah.
God, I dipped into it a little bit. It's like, what's going on? What is going on? I can't. I'm like, wait a
I
minute.
know.
I
It's
don't
like,
remember this being called sisterhood. Oh my God,
oh,
slapping each other in the back, bad
Lord
mouthing
above.
behind each other. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, what kind
Mm-hmm.
of mean girl behavior is this that you
Yep.
audacity to call sister
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
womanhood even? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
can we get with the fucking original template now? It's like it's time to
Yes.
start shouting and like being from your wounds. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I'm not
Yes.
being, I'm trying not to be now, but it was like, it was a shock to my system.
Yeah.
It was so shocking
Me
to me because
too.
I
Me
am a
too.
soul witch or woman or
Mm.
wise woman. I travel alone, right?
Yeah.
I've been taught to do that. I thought was hyper independent, but I realized it's because I need to just keep my channel clear. So yes,
Yeah.
I go into groups and things, and I've
Mm.
had the pleasure of being in some beautiful
Mm.
containers that have like helped me really adjust and stay in alignment as women.
Mm.
But the but I kind of took my foot off the boat because it's like I met beautiful souls like yourself and all the women that I drew into my podcast and things.
Yeah.
My podcast is a gem because it's like I've curated.
Yes, your podcast.
You know what I
I
mean? I've
didn't say that. It's
curated that
exceptional. Yeah.
as a like a learning tool. It's not just something that you go in and like consume. It's like you sit with the frequency.
Mm.
The women like yourself who I've brought, you've all got a unique gift. And this is what I'm saying.
Mm.
We've all got a unique template. And women
Yeah.
like you have like embodied it because you
Mm.
don't buy into all the other things and put yourself
Yeah.
in places because you want to feel like you belong or collude
Yeah.
or console each other. And it's just all
Mm.
these weird or criticize and judge. It's just all these weird
Mm-hmm.
little nuances that are going on because I understand it.
Mm.
It hasn't been safe to be a woman in that field, but that's
Yeah.
not womanhood. That is
No.
not womanhood. That thing that we're doing where we're like looping and woo around our
Mm-hmm.
wounding and then having to jab because you can't feel your own essence, so you're having to take it from someone else and think there's
Yeah.
competition and not enough and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
That isn't where we live. Oh, it's
Mm-hmm.
where we've lived, but
Yeah.
we need to stop living there now because bloody hell, no, burnt me head.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, the bullets flying. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
this is warfare. And then
Mm-hmm.
I realized, oh, they've been in the implants
Yeah.
because true womanhood isn't that. It's
No.
so present and loving and soft and
Mm.
welcoming and
Mm-hmm.
receptive and
Yes.
full, and you are full. You
Yes.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? You are
Yeah.
full of life. You are
Mm-hmm.
overflowing. You are full
Yeah.
of radiance. You don't
Mm.
need to fucking feel starved. You really
Yes.
don't.
Wow, that's starvation. That is
It
a
is
big
such a
one,
big
isn't
imprint.
it?
I mean, I know she
Mm.
won't mind, but I'm working with a beautiful soul. And you know, when you get a client that's like,
Mm.
is a gem to work with. Oh
Yeah.
my God. If every single person was like, I don't want to be like show her up there because you'll know. But we uprooted that out of her the other way.
Mm.
And oh my God, it felt so sickening to my stomach to really feel the full depth of the starvation we've had to suffer without having the
Mm.
full mother essence within
Yeah.
ourselves, within our lives, within the planet. And
Mm.
it was like, no, I am going in and I am uprooting that because
Yeah.
it's devastating to the soul
Hmm.
to
Yeah.
not know where you came from.
Mm.
And I don't care what anyone says, we came out of the mother. Let's get over it.
Hmm.
Let's get over that, fam.
100%.
Man did not birth the world. Woman births creation. Men bring it into
Yeah.
form. Okay.
Mm.
Well, whatever way you want to say, man, woman, feminine, masculine, blah, blah. I don't really care about the label. It's just
Yeah, let's get
the
the beginning point, like you said.
let's get the beginning part.
Yeah,
All
the
the other thing that
womb.
came after, I
Yeah.
was trying to feel it
Yeah.
and sense it and make meaning of it.
Yeah.
Doesn't, it's like nonsense. I've had to write about it and show other
Yeah.
people and stuff. But the truth is, let's get to the
Yeah.
beginning. There was a
Yes.
point before we had this distortion overlay of our
Mm.
Father, blah, 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 and heaven and all that.
Mm.
There was a point before that.
Yes.
And it comes from the cosmic womb. And
Mm.
that exploded into creation.
Yeah.
And out of that came form, came a
Hmm.
structure, came this sense of masculine, came,
Mm.
the thing that then got into the ego and thought, oh, I must have created all this because look what I built.
Well,
And it's like,
yeah,
sorry, was
it's
it
like,
made both?
hmm it's
Came
like the eye of the beholder became the eye of the speculator, right?
Yeah.
What was once this eye that looked in reverence at this mother that had created it and looked in
Hmm.
reverence and devotion became the fractured eye of the speculator of like, well, maybe I could do this, or maybe, or this is
Hmm.
there's a weakness over here, maybe I could exploit this. And that is like, we're talking about those contracts in the blood because we know
Hmm.
that not to be the Christed masculine, because we know,
Exactly.
because the mother birthed the Christed
Mm.
masculine, the mother birthed the son.
Hmm.
And those false impulses that you talk about in the bloodlines are being corrected. They're being brought back to that one
Hmm.
golden impulse, right? Of the, it's like the sun is almost like the mother's heart, or the light in the mother's
Hmm.
heart. So they can never go against each other.
Yeah.
But what we have had to do now, with when you're talking about, we've spoken about the bringing the father's line, the bloodlines
Mm.
into essentially singing them back. That's
Hmm.
what we did with your clearing. I did it to myself, and we're
Mm.
clear. We're singing the love of the mother through the bloodline, and we're
Hmm.
gathering back the bloodline into
Yeah.
one, and we're bringing it to the order of love, which
Mm.
obviously is a rose. It's always a rose, right? We're bringing it to this pattern of love, and we're allowing the all of those contracts, those
Hmm.
false, like you said, those false impulses, imprinted impulses that led
Hmm.
us down difficult roads, or self-sacrificing roads, or
Hmm.
competitive roads, roads of scarcity, of starvation. They are being released.
Yeah.
Um, and there's no that this is the bit I'm feeling now. It's like a nervousness that there's a balancing breath, that crystal breath that we spoke about, that is
Hmm.
bringing everything back to that innocence.
Hmm.
That's the mother's breath, right? This
Yeah.
breath of innocence, the breath, that's the breath of the immaculate womb.
Hmm.
Because our first breath, of course, was in the womb, of
Yeah.
course, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so we're being restored to the breath of the womb. And what's happening is that everyone in that's one breath, because everyone's within the womb. So everyone gets to be in their place within that, which is in with
Hmm.
grace, inside of symphony. And people who are inflating, or seeking power over, or um, if you know what I'm trying to say, like they're just trying to place themselves outside, they're placing themselves outside of grace,
Hmm.
actually. And that they're taking their own breath away,
Hmm.
you know? and
Yeah.
all the miracle and the magic. We were talking about,
Mm,
let's talk about all the
yeah.
miracle and the magic that's happening when you choose to be inside grace,
When you
inside
choose to be
symphony.
inside it. And that's the thing
Mm,
that I kind of like wanted to like reiterate that
mm,
you may think you're doing it to another, but ultimately you are taking yourself out of alignment.
yeah.
It's like you're doing it to yourself. It may give you an edge of, oh, I'm powerful, but it's false power. And it may
Yeah.
give you an edge of, sense of, oh, I'm big or I'm superior or
Mm,
whatever it is, nonsense. It gives you that drug feeling of, oh,
mm.
well, I'm inflated now. It's false inflation, which is why you
Yes.
constantly have to keep doing the same walk pattern when you can
Mm,
be in grace of the mother and just like bask in this energy and like have things materialize. It's like, what's
yes.
going
Like
on
just like
here? You're thinking of
thank
something,
you.
and it's like, wishes may come out. What?
Yes.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That
Yeah.
feeling of just without this distortion of the womb in the womb, because I
Mm,
was birthed into a toxic womb.
yeah.
So through, right, and I don't mean that
Mm,
derogatory in any sense at
yeah.
all. Can feel my mother in the ethers going, ah, what's that?
Watch yourself.
That's right, I don't think.
Sorry, mommy.
I know I'm laughing like this, though. My mum is like, whenever I do something like this, because I talk about our relationship in my book,
Yeah.
but it grew a lot after she passed away in the things
Yeah.
really like
Yeah.
watching me in awe now of what I'm
Beautiful.
doing. Like she's,
Yeah.
yeah, but every now and again it's like, that's not how I want. So
About all the nice things I did.
she did beautiful things. She created me for what that's enough.
Yeah. Oh, I
Go
understand
on, talking
completely. Right, you can, and
about
she created you
materialize
to speak free.
to be
It's
free.
beautiful.
Oh my
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
because I stand for liberation. That's what I
Yes.
stand. I serve the essence of liberation. And
Yeah.
it's taken me so long to get here. And to remember that before all the distortions, the
Mm,
womb was so crystal clear. And when we were in the womb, whether that's womb of mother on earth or womb as mother in the cosmos, it was nurturing. We could surrender, we could just bask in it and know that we were loved and supported and fed and not starved.
mm,
I mean, this pattern that I unhooked the other day, I don't often cry on my client, but I was almost
mm,
sobbing because of this level of starvation I felt and
yeah.
neglect and sense of just abandonment of a child, as in not
Mm,
maliciously, but like just dumping all the family like um distortions onto this child as the black sheep, like, and
yeah.
seeing her as like um unbearable to like be around,
Hmm.
like say, oh, she's just a new, because she was so bright, her light was so bright, it was sort of
Mm,
blinding them and they didn't know what to do with it. And
yeah.
so rewriting that, and I can't even tell you what joy it brings me to know that in my body, that radiance, and then
Mm,
to transmit it so someone else can feel radiance
yeah.
and like have all those distortions go. And the reason why I love working with her is because she recognizes that it's not her original blueprint that we're letting
Hmm.
go of. We don't need to attach ourselves anymore to these identity stories that we're trying to say, well, that's
Hmm.
my lineage. This is it. Is it really your lineage?
Yeah.
Or is it something that's being distorted along the path and we've accepted
Mm.
it as our lineage?
Yes. Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And it's
And
like,
we're, yeah.
yeah, go on.
instead, what we're doing now, because it's been, we could look back at our lineage, and this is what I came to be. I was told, because I was told we would not be stealing from each other. We would not be
Yeah.
stealing our quota of light. There would be none of those games of a wizard in charge of trapped light. That
Yes.
kind of thing. So everything was going to have to come through our lineage. Our
Hmm.
song and our living song and our living light would have to come through our lineage. So in order to do that, once you catch that and catch the whole thing into your hands, of course, first of all, you're inheriting a cacophony of chaos, and a whole lot of demons of like trapped light. But somehow then we're doing it through the grace of what has been given to us, the song and the light of creation, and we are, and it has to be embodied. It
Hmm.
wasn't happening for so long because we
Yeah.
were resisting embodiment. We were resisting being here, and like you said, that idea of a higher consciousness in a disembodied state, that kept us outside of actualizing. It kept us outside
Hmm.
of time, and it kept us fractured, being played with in all the multiple
Hmm.
timelines, as opposed to being the creator, which we're able to be now through what we're
Yeah.
where we are. Yeah.
It was
Mm.
also trapped through that, but it's also trapped because people have a fear of coming into the body, because to come into
Mm.
the body you have to feel, but then
Yes.
you have to root into your sexual sensual essence. And
Yes.
just there are, oh my God, because we were born through sex, let's just get clear.
Let's go straight
Right.
to, what did you
Let's
say?
just
Your
get
tantric
clear.
devotee. Let's go there. Okay.
So
Take it away.
you have to. It's like
Educate
it's
me.
not possible to
Yeah.
be the full essence of you are without tapping
Mm.
back into your sacred sensual essence.
Yeah.
Full stop. Your erotic innocence, that
Mm.
impulse of life that created you, was through sex.
Yeah.
So the
Beautiful.
synergy of that,
Mm-hmm.
in my book, I call it sexual energetic exchange or synergy
Yeah.
exchange
Yeah.
of energy, whether that's between you and another person or between you and life,
Mm-hmm.
blah, blah, blah. It's all sex. We're talking about the birds and the bees.
Mm.
They're all floating on this energy. And it's being psyopted and corrupted. And the church has done a number on, like,
Mm.
sin of the flesh and all this bloody
Yeah.
nonsense and whatever else. Your flesh is not sinful. It's the most
Mm.
precious bloody thing you've got, along
Yeah.
with your sexual essence.
Yeah.
That's been corrupted. It's been corrupted from love to lust.
Mm-hmm.
Lust is not the thing. Trust me.
Yeah.
It may feel nice for a minute
Mm.
or two, but it's not the thing. This
No.
impulse that I feel now from the earth, from being in
Mm.
people, that erotic, innocent impulse, I had that as a
Mm.
child, but it was almost like drawing predators because I didn't
Yes.
understand it. And then it
Mm.
had imprints around it being something else. And so
Yeah.
it took me a long time to get to that remembrance, but I always knew as a child
Mm.
that sex was sacred, and
Yeah.
it was the essence that ran through me orgasmically.
Mm.
It was the thing that brought everything to life,
Yeah.
you know? And
Mm-hmm.
then but then I shut it down because of all the sexual trauma that I had. But I had so many remembrances as a child around being a sacred prostitute, around
Yeah.
being a surrogate, sexual surrogate,
Mm-hmm.
to the
Yeah.
point, this is how mad it is. I write about that in the book. I think I was about 10, 11, and I found a book
Mm.
by Mosters and Johnson's about sexual surrogates.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even know what that book was. I should never have found it, was hidden somewhere.
You
And I
found it.
started reading it.
Yeah.
And it was like a homecoming to me. I don't understand,
Mm.
I don't know what that was. It was like a resounding bell of, I didn't think, oh, that's weird. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is what I've done before in many
Yeah.
lifetimes, brought order to distortions around sexuality.
Beautiful.
And and then my journey as a tantric, I kind of got sick when my mum died, because
Mm-hmm.
my mum, yeah, died under not a good circ, and it just messed with my
Yeah.
mind. And I got really sick. I got chronic fatigue, and again, I just
Mhm.
wanted to kind of die. And then
Mm.
I had an apparition from Yeshua, from Jesus, and he was like, "Girl," and I don't know what Jesus you're following, but my Jesus has got attitude. Like, girl, you need to get the fuck out, or else you're gonna die there in that bed.
Yeah.
And he like taught me how to one get out of the bed because I couldn't actually walk. I
Mm.
lost the ability to walk for like nearly a year and a half. So I dragged
Ah,
myself out of the bed, and then this apparition would come and sit on the bed and talk to me about everything I've gone
beautiful.
through. And he was the one that said, "You're here to heal the sexual trauma of the planet," and I didn't understand then.
Wow.
But then through a series of mysteries,
Lots of winding roads.
this magazine, like local magazine, came through my door. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And in it, there was a thing that said Shakti dance, and I had no idea
Okay.
what it was. And so I got myself well enough, and then I went to this thing, and I ended
Mm.
up in a room with about 15 of the women,
Mm.
um, who then started like dancing naked
Ooh.
to just themselves. And I'd never been in a space like that. And I did,
Yeah.
it was like so surreal because I've just
Mm-hmm.
had the apparition, this, all this, and I thought, what is going on? And so at
Yeah.
the end, we had a little sharing thing, and I told them about the apparition, and I just said, I was guided here because he
Mm-hmm.
told me how to heal the sexual wounds of the planet. And
Mm.
then the woman that was holding the space just said, "Oh, you have to meet my teacher, Shakti Milan. She never
Yeah.
comes to the country, but she's coming from Africa."
From Africa. Of course she came from Africa, Coco. Of course.
She's coming from Africa
Oh,
to
wow.
do an event called oh God, what was it called? Sexual something for women. And I thought, I need to be there. So
Wow.
I like got myself to Scotland the week later. And it was the
Mm.
first, again, I write about it in the book, it's the first time I'd sat in a circle with a, t a teacher of wisdom where she just
Mm.
did transmissions of her essence.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm.
because when you ask women, why are you there? And they're going, oh, we've come from the transmission. And I was like,
Yeah.
transmission? Oh, I'm supposed to know what transmission is. I had no idea. I thought, oh, yeah, me too. Whatever. And so she's given a satsang and a
Mm.
thing, and oh my God, the energy was just rippling through my body. She was like
Wow.
tuned through our bodies, and I really got
Mm.
this sense, and I really honor Shakti Malan's work because it
Mm-hmm.
felt pure to me. And
Yeah.
then, unfortunately, she passed away, but her
Mm-hmm.
legacy like lives on.
Mm.
But it was the spark of remembrance that Tantra, what we've created in Tantra now
Mm-hmm.
in the Western world, is not Tantra.
Oh,
I
I
know
would
they
love to
call it
talk
neo.
about this, my love.
I know they
Yeah.
call it neo Tantra, like neo's gonna make
Mm.
any fucking
Oh,
sorry.
really?
But it's
Okay.
like, no,
Mm.
it didn't even come from India. It came from
Mm-hmm.
Africa. It got taken to India. And I
Mm.
talk about that also. And it was a path of self-liberation. And it was a co-creation with life. Like I said, that
Mm.
understanding that we are in partnership with life and life runs through us. And that's what creates the orgasmic energy. And we have that
Mm.
all day long because we are radiant fucking beings. It's not some sexual titillation technique
Yes, that's the
thing.
word. Yeah.
It's not that.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thread.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even the ultimate thread because once you
Mm.
understand yourself as a tantric being, I realized I've
Mm.
always been like this because I could be with life and the elements and whatever. I think it's probably
Mm.
why I have like two thoughts about why my life's been so heavy with trauma. One
Yeah.
could be the story that, oh, I came in knowing that as a part of my blueprint
Mhm.
to like do it, and that may be
Mm.
true. But then there's also the thing of, yeah, but I was also infiltrated and attacked because my light was so bright. Whatever you want to
Yeah.
say, I don't care.
Mhm.
They're just stories. All I know is it's made me the person I am. And
Yeah.
I came
Yeah.
in with a specific encoding around
Mhm.
sexuality and
Mm.
around remembering this erotic innocent impulse, and that's the
Yeah.
impulse that I give out. Sometimes I don't always get it right, and it attracts
Mhm.
things that I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
But then I realize the bigger picture is, oh, I'm attracting that because I'm here to um know what the distortion is and clear it out of the
Mhm.
way. And this is what I want
Yeah.
you to understand. We set the
Mm.
tone, we set the environment, we
Mm.
set the thing that's coming through, we birth the new
Mhm.
reality.
Yeah.
So when we're playing in those old stories about what we think a woman's here to do,
Mm.
surrender to a whatever, it's like,
Mhm.
no, we're in co-creation. We
Yeah.
have wombs.
Mm.
It's not just for birthing children, it's for birthing creation here
Mm.
on the planet to hold the template of what we're bringing into form.
Mm.
We are present, and this is what happened to me when I felt that sense of, oh, I'm present, but I could feel all my past and feel all that I'm bringing in
Yeah.
also
Mm.
into this one body, this one being.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm supposed to resonate as, so that the
Mm.
tone is felt, the sound is.
Mm. Yeah.
We're not meant to get caught up in all these words and things.
Mm.
This is the next iteration. And so
Mhm.
this, sorry, there's a car just went boom, 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 boom. boom. Got
Like,
it.
go, 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 go.
Got it. Oh my God, she got it. Yeah, but that's our original template as women. We've
Yeah.
again, it's the step um before what we've been told. So it's
Mhm.
like we have the vision, we hold the
Yeah.
intention, we have the imagination, we bring it in through our vessels, birth it out, and the masculine
Mm.
then can use that to build form. It's not his will, it's not even our will, it's
Mm.
divine will.
Yeah, it's the impulse. It's
It's the
that pure
impulse.
golden impulse. Yeah.
So it's like we're
That's the
getting out
will.
of the way and we have a
Mm.
role to do in that. And then we can like surrender and like work together with the masculine. But there's a step
Mm.
first. And it's like one of the
Yeah.
things, the patterns that we're being conditioned as women in this time is to believe that we have no power, to believe
Mm.
that we have to go seek it outside, to believe that the masculine is going to hold us up
Mhm.
as the container or the structure or
Yeah.
whatever it is. And it's like, eventually, but there's a step of when you
Mhm.
feel your full own masculine and feminine because you're plugged into the bloody earth like you're supposed to
Mm.
be dancing with the moon. You're plugged into
Yeah.
the air. You're letting the mycelium come up
Yeah.
in you, penetrate you like a big
Mm.
see. Oh God, come big. Let it anchor you in that
Yeah.
docking like a
Yes.
docking station. And
Yeah.
then you can wield in the vision because you're bringing in the
Mm.
cosmic intel.
Yeah.
And then that emanates out, and then they know what to do. That's when the men come.
Mhm.
Then they know what to do. And they feel that sense of course, they're going to want to protect that true vision for the
Yeah.
planet. Because do you think they want to suffer and have
Mhm.
war as an implant? Do they have?
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
may have it. They may be angry. They
Mm.
may not understand it, but it's an implant. It's not
Yeah.
true. It's not the true
Mm.
nature of the masculine to want to either hurt, maim, or damage the feminine in any way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
I don't care what you want to tell me.
Mhm.
I grew up with someone who was so possessed and
Yeah.
infiltrated with things, and I would
Mm.
go as far as to call him a psychopath.
Yeah.
So I understand the full breadth of that pattern. And
Mhm.
I know deep, deep down,
Mhm.
he would not want to have done that. And that's
Yeah.
why I forgive him. Because
Yeah.
say it's my downfall, because I know they remember the original imprint. I could feel
Mhm.
it in him. But
Yeah.
that didn't mean I like condone what he did.
Of
Do you know what
course.
I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
It just, I know the full spectrum of that, which is why. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? I know it.
What it means is that you're bigger than what any particular piece did.
Yeah,
And what that shows, and I understand what you're saying because I've witnessed the possession
yeah,
strongly, and it always felt so alien because
yeah,
it couldn't, it was nothing that could ever resonate with me. So I always saw it as something outside of reality that was
yeah.
trying to superimpose. And
Hmm.
what this tells me, it just concurs what you're saying, is that the 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 wholeness, the cohesion, the pattern, that is of the magnetic mind of the mother. And we hold that even as little girls when we're
Hmm.
witnessing the chaos. We either hold it in, we pick up the pieces, right? We
Hmm.
energetically pick up the magnetically pick up the pieces, and we hold it in different ways. Now everybody holds himself in stories, everyone does that. But with our work with the womb, in bringing our womb back to its immaculate function, its light function, its intelligence function, restoring the mind of the womb, and then bringing it, everything else within us becomes attuned to that mind, so everything serves the mind of the womb. We are, that pattern that we've always known is there, so we
Hmm.
could always feel love and compassion even for the psychopath.
Hmm.
And in those environments, our love made us incredibly vulnerable, but I
Hmm.
think in sometimes it protected us. I just remember one person who would have had psychotic episodes around me, and he said he never, not, we're around in general, but and he would hurt different people, or no, he
Hmm.
didn't hurt people, but he had thoughts about different people. And he told me he never had a bad thought about me
Hmm.
because our connection was so pure, because it was because I couldn't see. I could see the thing, but I could see it wasn't him.
Yeah.
It didn't frighten me, it just saddened me.
Mm. Yeah.
And I was always looking at him in
Hmm.
the, and like the thing was like curtains. And I was
Yeah.
just looking to, always looking through these curtains. But so our love kept our soul safe, let's say.
Hmm.
Our love is what has made us now be able to weave all those pieces back together,
Hmm. Hmm.
to bring the pattern that we've always known is there, back to order, and to weave in those fractures
Yeah.
back to make sense, because that's what we, when you think of when we are thrown into chaotic situations, or everything is so, there's violence or aggression or madness around us, we try to make sense of it, so we
Mm.
become disordered, trying
Yeah.
to attune with this chaos.
Hmm.
And now what is happening, which is incredible to witness, and this is why I call the women vibrational masters, because if you're able to go from that
Hmm.
and take all of it, and go from the eye of the storm, who had to witness everything in chaos, to then become the woman in the middle with the big crochet hook, who's weaving the storm, you
Yeah.
know,
Love
literally
it.
weaving the, I'm like, that is a vibrational master right
Hmm.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's, and it's a mastery of love, because you couldn't do any of that. The only thing powerful enough to have a force to allow us to do something so um audacious is love. And
Hmm.
we have the force of love that is just flowing through us all the time.
Yeah.
And I just see us restoring the order of love,
Hmm.
regardless of what anything is said to us.
Yeah.
Regardless, we will not be stopped, because no matter if somebody thinks they're the good guy or the bad guy, if there's a good guy or bad guy, there's a problem. It has to
Hmm.
be, everyone has to be mother's child, and that
Yeah.
is it. That is your place within grace.
Hmm.
And we as women are not living outside of grace. We're
Hmm.
not doing it. We're not birthing a fallen world. We're not rebirthing fallen consciousness.
Exactly.
We are not rebirthing fallen architecture. We are not rebirthing anything fallen or distorted. We are birthing cohesion, fullness, wholeness, the whole breath. Everything will be known. Every hidden intention will be felt and heard and seen. and
Mm.
we will be cohesing, and we are cohesing it
Mhm.
all into the pattern of the original intention of the Great Mother. And
Mhm.
that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's magnificent.
it is,
It
and
really
it's
is.
fun.
It,
It's getting fun now.
it's getting fun, Mary. Who thought we could ever say that? Because I know we're saying all this, or I'm saying all this, but God, the
Yeah.
dredging myself through the trenches to get to this point, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I'm perfect because I've done some very unloving things, but
Yeah.
I've always had that spark of love. It was like
Mm.
it's in there and we can find
Yeah.
it. And I just want to
Yeah.
read a quote because it says,
Please, yeah.
see all women as mothers, serve them as your mother. When you see the entire world as the mother, the ego falls away. And that's by Mara Raji.
Mm.
And it is that thing, what you're saying. To me, mother is love. And when we
Yeah.
see that, oh, it all comes from, like, it may look like distorted, but it all comes back to love, because that's
Yeah.
what we're seeded from. We can't
Yeah.
not go there. That's what
Yeah.
it is, and that's what we're bringing into alignment. And just that analogy you said around we are weaving the thing. I mean, we did some
Mm.
potent work
Yeah.
around the liberation of Africa, and
Oh, but let's talk about that, Coco, because
and
that is fun.
and again, that thing of little seeds have been dropped here,
Mm.
there, and everywhere over the last like month or so around the essence of Africa, me being in a black body,
Mm-hmm.
you know, all the distortions around that, how much we'd been subjugated and how much
Mm-hmm.
resources have been, you know, raped and pillaged from Africa. And I was like
Mm-hmm.
in this heated, like, like, what
Mm.
is no? And then I read a post of Sasha Stone's, and it was
Yeah.
about the liberation. And I felt that like a bell go through me. And it was
Mm.
just like,
I could
oh,
feel you feeling it.
no, I know. All the pieces
Yeah.
like fell into place. It was like
Yeah.
boom through my body. And I went,
Mm.
oh, that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling
Yeah.
Africa. I'm feeling the rumbling of all that dross coming to the top, and it's ready to like go into its next phase of iteration because it is the motherland. You know,
Mm.
it's where we were all birthed from. Whether you want to believe that as a history or not, let's just get real.
I
That's
believe it.
that's the
Yeah.
thing. That's the code,
Mm.
right? That we're going back. And then it was just like,
Mm.
oh, I have the seed of the black code in me, the black obsidian. You know,
Mm.
that's down deep in the earth, like
Yeah.
boom, boom, like giving out
Mm-hmm.
the tone. And when I read his poem, it was just honestly, it was like the clearest clarion call. And I posted it. And I only wrote about 2, 3 words or a little sentence like Africa's
Mm.
liberation is imminent or something, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And you messaged me and went, I feel that. I feel you. Blah, 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 blah. And you're like,
My house
invite.
is shaking, Coco. My house is shaking.
And I was like, oh, wow, she can feel. And you
Seeing
kind of
you,
said if
yeah.
you need help landing the
Mm.
baby, then
Yeah.
because I didn't even know what I was fully doing, but I just knew I was
Yeah.
clearing that essence as a land clearer and a grid.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
then that's when I got activated because everything in my lineage around the masculine, looping back to
Mm.
Coco, just began like going so wonky. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what is this? What is
Yeah.
that? And then I realized it's like, oh wow, I have to clear it through this
Yeah.
full lineage of
Yeah.
self, full lineage of
Mm.
that. Let's do it. And I messaged you, and then we just
Mm.
started clearing my lineage, and then we just like, to me, it suddenly felt like we were in a like, no, just bobbing around in the wind, and went boof,
Mm-hmm.
down, down, pop, 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 down into the air, down through into Africa, and like,
Yeah.
oh my God, it's like the uplifting of that energy and the liberation and the work that we did to like really clear that. But then what it did for me was it really cemented in that we are the ones that are the sounding bells. We are the tuning forks. We
Mm.
feel the distortion, not because it's trying
Yeah.
to kill us, you know, as sensitive beings. Like you
Mm-hmm.
said, I'm not frightened of the distortion because it's
Yeah.
just distortion. It's
Yeah.
just energy that's we've concentrated on so much that it's become
Mm.
solid, that it's become a tangible thing.
Yeah.
And so it's like if we can create it, we can uncreate it. And if we can
Yes.
uncreate it, then we can create the vibration that we want because we are it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just
Yeah.
cemented that, oh, who am I to say I'm small, for one,
Mm-hmm.
when mother's telling me that's your job today? Do you know what
Yes.
I mean? To clear the landlines in Africa.
Yes. To get yourself into the was it the navel of Africa?
Yeah.
And let them know what's happening.
Let them
Like,
know and feel your sound
yeah,
and you set the tone
yes,
for that, for what's coming. It's like, who am I
yeah,
to
be the
like
voice
say,
of that.
be the voice of that? It's like
Mm,
because I had this thing of, oh, I can't say that. People are going to think I'm mental.
yeah,
Or people are going to think, oh, she's such a big head or blah, whatever it is they want to
yeah,
put on it. But
yeah,
like, no, because what I
yeah,
feel now is that intel drops into me
mm-hmm,
the whole, like, I feel the essence of the mother, that full vast wave
mm,
of the sea, you know? And
mm-hmm,
I'm just a drop.
yeah,
I'm a drop
yeah,
that puts a drop
mm-hmm,
into the field.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then it vibrates out. It's like seeing a tiny
mm-hmm,
seed. We don't look
yeah,
at seed and go, oh my God, I can't hold it because it's going to be an oak tree. Oh my God, I did.
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
you only have to plant the seed. That's what
yes,
you realize. And
yeah,
then it just does its like the magic
yeah,
beanstalk. Then it like does
mm-hmm,
its thing.
mm-hmm,
It
yeah,
erupts, grows into, and then you can climb up and be in the castle. Do you know what I mean? It's
exactly,
like,
yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I
It's
do,
like
and
it takes a
yeah,
bit of effort, but it's like there's a
it
magic.
is that simple.
It's that
And
simple.
we were
And
kept
but better.
outside of intention. Everything was done to shut women up. And
Yeah.
women's appetite, our appetite is endless. We have
Hmm.
insatiable appetites. And that can either be seen as a we are just terribly greedy and unreasonable, or that we are the insistent intention of evolution. It
Hmm.
depends where you want to sit, right? But either way, we have remembered that it is that insatiable appetite for freedom, which
Hmm.
is a woman's nature, like to be an
Hmm.
overflow, to not be caught in these tight little places, to be farmed until we're exhausted, literally
Hmm.
milked dry of our energy supply, of our emotions, whatever, our love, essentially, because it's our love. Our love is very real. It's
Hmm.
life-giving. So when we're put in these places where our love is being drained and siphoned, and this has happened in the earth, and we saw this in Africa too, in
Yeah.
that moment,
Hmm.
we have resisted this. We have
Hmm.
resisted that contract upon love. We have decided that love is boundless,
Hmm.
and people will know the truth of love, and people will understand, just as everyone learned the rules of war, right? We had to go
Hmm.
through that for how long? People will relearn the rules of love, and there are rules of love, and they will learn it. It's not that hard. Like the whole of nature has it kind of
Hmm.
figured out. Like people could just go outside,
Go
just
sit by a
shorten the trip,
tree and soon find out.
Yeah.
But love
And
it.
gratitude is a really good place to
Mm.
start as well, because it's just humility, and
Mm.
to know that we are in receipt. The only love due to us is that receipt of mother's allowance, which is the breath
Mm.
of life, which is
Mm.
enough for everyone. And the idea of owning the breath of life, the idea of owning love, of occupying and conquering and commandeering, the only kingdom we have is our heart. The
Mhm.
only place of dominion is our heart. And the only influence we will have in this, where we are now, is vibrational.
Mhm.
So we will be felt by heart and trusted, or we will not be felt by heart and trusted. There is no convincing.
Mhm.
When we have releasing all of the contract, that includes everything, even what people might see as healthy contract, or
Mhm.
things to keep us safe, or
Yeah.
things to keep order. There is an order to nature. There's an order to wildness. But the thing about wildness is it has to be wild in order to find its nature.
Mhm.
There's we could try to turn every single person and every single body in the whole of the earth into a lawn and keep it perfect, right? Or we could just and like no life comes from the lawn.
Mhm.
No life comes from a lawn. Or we can allow people, our consciousness, our body, our impulses, earth itself to be free. And we can come and remember there is always a rhythm and a rhyme in that compassionate breath, that one breath of nature. And if we can just evolve as far as a tree
Mhm.
and remember that one breath, even within our own species, of course, all of nature is interconnected. And the aim is to be interconnected with nature, of course. But even if we only had it within humanity, to
Mhm.
understand that there's a flow, there's a balancing, if anytime we're using force, it will come back.
Mhm.
Anytime we're trying to impose a false balance, a constriction on somebody else, forcing someone into an agreement, it will come back. It
Mhm.
never, that will not go away because the wombs of women and the mother's womb are not absorbing that anymore. That's what we used to absorb.
Mhm.
And now we have a flock of women with cortisol issues, thinning hair, hormone imbalance, and we're finished. We're not doing that anymore
Mhm.
because that is the paradigm we lived through. And it took such a toll on the earth's body and on the woman's body. And there's
Mhm.
an awful lot of women with womb issues also.
Yeah.
So I just need to get that off my chest,
No,
Coco.
you must have read my
Because it's
mind
like,
because I was saying,
ah,
let's talk about the womb.
I just had to get that off my chest because let us trust our wildness. It is not
Mhm.
chaos. It is not badness. It is not chaos. When our blood was filled with false impulse, we could not trust our
Mhm.
innocence. We could not trust our wildness. But this evolution we are going through, which is bringing the bloodlines back to this one golden channel, one
Mhm.
golden impulse of divine will in the heart, we will be able to trust our innocence again. That golden impulse in the heart is like the crown of the child. It's like the crown that says, "Yes, innocent child,
Mhm.
you are trusted now again." We've taken the perversions, the contracts, the terror of you out of you, and you can just be that crystal, immaculate child of the immaculate womb of the Great Mother,
Mhm.
and impulsed by that divine will in the heart. That
Mhm.
is the paradigm we're in now, Coco. And being in that, everything miraculous, and things are turning miraculous for me. Like I really mean this. Everything miraculous starts happening, and your dream becomes a walking dream.
Mhm.
And because we have done that with, reclaiming the subconscious, that planting the seed is that simple. And to be in a state of this kind of conscious dreaming, this dream state where we are not, so we're, instead of being tuned into whatever bullshit horror story we're supposed to care about, if instead we're in tune with this song that's inside the body, we start like weaving up these
Mhm.
seeds in the consciousness, and before we know it we turn around and it's turned into form.
Mhm.
And so let's not give form to those news stories, because let's remember, when okay, when you're growing up, if someone wants to hurt you, they'll hurt you. They're not going to threaten to hurt you. They're not going to tell you, oh, the hurt is coming. 6 months now, we're all going to be hurt. This is what we hear on the news, right? It's just this constant threat.
Mhm.
And the ulterior news, the what's the word for that?
Alternative.
Alternative news. It's the same thing. It's just like there's waves of threat coming. Be
Mhm.
frightened. Be really frightened. They're coming now. You need to hide. And now, if in reality, if you grow up with siblings, if your siblings wants to give you a punch, they punch you. They don't tell you, "I'm going to punch you. It's coming. Be frightened." So we know what threat feels like. We know what threat feels like. That false threat, which is designed just to make us as timid and as meek and as small as possible, so that we give up lines and lines of our freedom until
Mhm.
we're just under the bed wrapped in tinfoil. Like, is that where people want to go? Or do we want to say, well, like, okay, let me call your bluff. Let me take one
Yeah.
step closer to the threat, to the possible threat. Let me take a step closer. Let me look into it. Let me open the curtain and let me see what it is. It actually real?
Mhm.
Or does it need my agreement to become real?
Yeah.
And shall I keep my agreement for the things that are magical and beautiful and life giving and joyful, you
Mhm.
know?
Mm. I
Mm,
do. It,
yeah.
I just love how the senses play into
Mm,
this, as in you see, I feel first and
mm,
foremost, if something's off, it's like, oh, someone's like, just
yeah.
at me. And it's like we can feel true. We don't have to be
Mm,
conditioned out of our sensitivity anymore. It's the
yes.
greatest gift. And as
Yeah.
Mary says, once you start to feel that, it's like we see
Mm,
the distortion just becomes so clear.
yeah.
It's like we don't have to feel we have to fix or make it part of us anymore. It's not
Mm,
anymore. It's not, it never was. It's not who we are. And
mm,
it just feels that this tone of liberation that I've felt coming over the past 4 years,
mm,
like not really understanding what it meant, but I just knew that liberation was the tone.
yeah.
Um, Now it's like landed. It's like, oh, like you said, it's like once all that strips back, it's like,
Mm.
oh, it's like being in the playground. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, you can ask your nature out of thin air. Do you know what I mean? But I have that real
Yeah.
sense of, oh, this is what we're doing. Uh,
Mm.
yeah, it just feels miraculous.
It does. It truly does, Coco.
Yeah.
And it's just like I wish this for everybody.
Hmm.
And it is there for everybody. And what we are learning as we are releasing the shadow mother, and I know you did a big group intention, you called for that intention to disengage from the moon. As
Mhm.
we're releasing that false protection of the shadow mother and the false placating and spoiling almost of the shadow mother, and as children of the mother, as we release that need to be petulant and be in constant demand, we start to see what is the dynamic then between the Immaculate Mother and the Immaculate Child? How can I be a child of grace? How can I receive everything that wants to come to me? Because in that state of petulance and demand, and a lot of people don't want to give up the free will, those subconscious impulses that need to be brought to that golden order. Um, so they want to stand, perhaps people want to stand in a position of degeneracy and still
Mhm.
demand that crystalline breath, that
Mhm.
grace reaches them. I don't know how where that goes or what comes from that, but mm,
It can't come.
yeah,
You can't be fully, you can't be in two rooms at the same time.
yeah.
That's well, I said that on
You
bilocated.
were the other day.
But yeah,
I know what you mean.
do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? For that, it's like
Mm,
you've got to make a choice now, as it
yeah.
do you want to be in full resonance of that, or do you want to keep,
Mm,
you know, pretending that you're doing a thing because you're getting away with shit kind of thing. Do you
yeah.
know what I mean? It's like, trust me, it may feel like you're getting the thing,
Mm,
but it's like we're in, you said the perfect line of, can you get into alignment to receive all that's already waiting for you?
yeah.
Because it's already waiting for us. It's like
Mm,
it's not a sacrifice to let go of the old version of this outdated model that we created as a human, you know,
mm,
that's in sacrifice and scarcity
yeah.
and lack and limitation. And,
Hmm.
like you said, program with fear first.
Yeah.
It's like our true imprint is programmed with love first. It is
Yeah.
our thing. So it's like you're not going to lose this sense of identity It's
Mhm.
like you're gaining so much more because you're in your full resonance and you can actually relax. That's the biggest thing
Yeah.
that I'm finding now is that I have gripped my body in certain places. And like
Mhm.
now that it's like, it's felt at some point where I've been releasing around my pelvis and the
Mm.
ligaments in there, like, because the ligaments in there are like a basket. So it's like there's so
Mm.
many, it's like it holds us.
Mm.
And some of those have been so tight without me even knowing. And I've done like
Yeah.
work on my womb and my pussy for years. And it
Yeah.
was just like suddenly like my sacrum dropped and like it
Mm.
began to open and I could just like I thought, oh wow, but it felt like, when you're carrying a baby and your
Mm.
ligaments go a bit soft and you can't quite move.
Yeah.
I was like, what
Yeah.
is going on here? So it was like, oh, and I thought, oh, it's like a big hormonal surge.
Mm.
The hormones are the elixirs that rewrite the thing. So it was like
Mm.
I felt like the synergy between cosmic cosmos, earth, and myself, like rewriting, getting the elixirs in my body getting rewritten to like
Mm.
bring my body back into full order.
Beautiful.
Because it's hormones, they're not a to me, they're not a biological thing, although they do
Yeah.
biological things in the body.
Mhm.
The impulses that come online, because it's like, um, and I can really see it in my granddaughter, because when but it's like I watch her evolve. And so
Mhm.
it's like, well, how does she know? When does she know to be switched on to begin to walk? When does she know?
Yeah.
Because it's
Yes.
a
Yeah.
thing, because she's plugged in. Babies
Oh,
are
this is
plugged
beautiful,
in.
Coco.
So it's like a hormone.
Mhm.
So it's like this tree plugs in the roots.
Mhm.
The seed can't just grow on the ground. It has to plug into the earth. If you want to
Mm.
see it like that, a seed, and we are, so they're
Yeah.
aligned, and it's only as time gets older that we take them out of that impulse. But
Mhm.
with my granddaughter, oh my God, she's like a firecracker. She's like today she
Yeah.
wanted to put her shoes on. It doesn't matter how long it takes her to put shoes on. If you say, do you want some help? And she says no, you cannot go near that child because
Don't help. No.
she will figure that out. She will figure
Yeah.
that out. She will figure out to do. And it's like, don't take that impulse away from my grandma.
Yes.
My
Yeah.
brain needs to figure out my capacity for learning
Mm.
anything. And so,
Yeah.
yes, everything takes longer, but the beauty
Mm.
of watching when her body comes into alignment and she evolves into the next
Mm.
iteration of herself. And I thought, oh, that's the process
That's
of
beautiful.
evolution
Yeah.
that I'm seeing it in front of my eyes. This is all we have to do.
Ah.
We have to just believe the capacity, no matter how long it takes to align with the thing. We
Mm.
get still, we tune in, we hear the frequency, and we stay on that bandwidth. We don't get sidetracked because Susie over there is having a flipping bottle
Mm.
of champagne that you want. It's like, you're over
Mm.
here now. You're going to get nectar
Yeah.
from the mother. It's far better than champagne, please. Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
Oh, I
don't
love
think we're
this.
going to lose something because I'm working with another client and it's like she won't let go because she thinks she's going to lose her identity. And it's like, I
Mhm.
see you. I see you as a priestess. I see you as
Mm.
doing this work. I see you as doing the bigger thing. But it's like we're stuck,
Wow.
so many that are meant to be doing this so that they can be the lighthouse, the grid points
Mm.
that we can
Yeah.
all like connect in and just blast it like this light
Yeah.
now. It's like I can feel so many when I put that call out on that vision of women, thousands of women, and it doesn't need to be thousands and thousands and thousands, but it was thousands of women.
Mhm.
Each of those thousands women,
This is about the moon,
yeah, well,
disconnecting from the
not
moon.
just the moon, but it was just that sense of, oh, this is why they need to be plugged into the earth because
Okay. Yeah.
they will then activate 1,000 women, and they will activate, and then their thousand will
Beautiful.
activate 1,000, and then it will be just like all over the planet, blah, blah, blah. That's
Yeah.
what I felt this seed go out. And it was through
Mm.
that call of the moon, because it had to be something where that so many have got attached to this madness. It's madness to me.
Yeah.
Why would you want to be connected to something that's called lunatic? That's why we've got
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like it's
Mhm.
looping. You're looping every single month. And it doesn't mean that you can't flow with the rhythm of nature, but that is
Mm.
not the rhythm of nature.
Yeah.
that's not the true rhythm of nature. It's been
Mhm.
incorporated and we've adopted it and adapted it and done
Mhm.
things with it. But the true core essence that we're attuning to
Mhm.
is like a consistent hum. It doesn't go up and down. It doesn't have you spinning. It doesn't have you looping. It just is it's like a lullaby.
Mhm.
That soothing thing, it rewrites your nervous system. You don't have to
Yeah.
be on edge feeling the fear and the chaos in the field. You're tuning to this hum,
Mhm.
this what Mary felt in me before I even felt it myself. She was going, wow, you've got the mother drum in your lap, have I?
I was like
Hello.
Obsidian Queen Mother Drum.
Yeah, who are you? That beat, that, but
Yeah.
now it took me time to let it in because I had so many
Mm.
protective mechanisms myself around
Yeah, of
feeling the
course.
bigness of myself,
Mm.
allowing myself to say that this is my job as mother, as a
Yeah.
refractal of mother. This is what we're
Yeah.
doing here. And now it's like I feel so many of you coming awake in the field, and I'm so grateful to
Mm.
have allies like yourself in the field. And
Mm.
you know, like I said before, my podcast, those women that I've created and brought together all have a
Mm.
unique, magnificent seed of mother essence. They all do it. Some do it like Mary does quantum, like,
Mm.
and some are like, the slow thing. There is something in there for
Yeah.
everybody. And,
Yeah.
slowly adding people that I really can feel that beat of the mother in them.
Yes.
Because, like I said, there's thousands of women that are ready to jump
Mm-hmm.
to feel this. They know there's something amiss, or they know there's something new they're meant to plug in. Let's just say there's something different that they need to plug into now because we've
Yeah.
done the clearing with all the
Mm-hmm.
distortions and the wounding. And it's just time to get out of the pattern of the wounding,
Yes.
And I can feel that there's a wave coming, but it's
Mm-hmm.
like it always gets louder before it shifts because the last week or
Yeah.
so it's just been like, what
Mm-hmm.
is going on in this field around sisterhood and people like jibber jabbering and
Mm.
slinging the wounds at each other and like being really activated and really reactive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead of
I would love,
responsive.
yeah, I would love to say something about that
Please
sisterhood.
do.
Yeah, because I felt something similar. Um, I did a show and I was happy and I thought this was, expansion and then I received these energetics of like you don't fit in. This is a feminine energy coming towards you.
Mm.
You don't fit in. Whatever, you don't look right, you don't speak right, whatever, you haven't suffered enough or
Mm.
you smile too much perhaps. Whatever, I
You're not floaty
understand.
enough is one of my
Yeah.
you're not floaty enough.
What? Oh, you're not floaty enough? The thing, like, and it's all projection because nobody knows what I have suffered or not, and I don't wear it as a badge because I don't find meaning from my suffering.
Yeah.
I in my in my mind, things are supposed to be blissful. So
Mm-hmm.
like I said, everything else is just something alien that has happened, and
Mm-hmm.
it just leads me to reclaim more of the immaculate pattern, more of the bliss, more of the love, and to bring things back togetherness. So um that is something within the feminine of hitting each other over the head with our own suffering.
Yeah.
I have had it the worst, you have had it the worst, let us compete with who is suffering the
Mm-hmm.
most.
Mm-hmm.
And that is truly that is the daughter of that father outside of light who
Mm-hmm.
sacrifices his children. That's what that is.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so that happens, and it is what it is. It's all. I never expect these things because I'm pretty naive. I just speak and expect everything's going to be wonderful any minute now. It's all going to just click into place. You know.
I love how you
Yeah.
reframe it because I've been called naive all my
Yeah.
life. Oh, you're so naive, especially when I talk
Mm,
about sexuality being like,
yeah.
honoring and bliss and what it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's so naive. But
Yeah.
when you just said, yeah, I'm naive because yeah, I expect it to be amazing. And that's
Yeah.
me. That's me. It's like now it's like, yeah, call me naive because
Yeah.
I know underneath all that there is
Yeah.
just heaven bliss, you know,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
blissful.
Yeah.
And me, out of anyone, I've been on a journey to like feel
Mm.
this, trust me. So it's like it's not like a fantasy.
Mm.
It's real, tangible energy, essence, the plasma of the earth that I am feeling,
Mm.
that's in the
Yeah.
collective. I am feeling the thing that is coming.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to apologize for that anymore. Do you know what I mean? I mean,
Yes.
when I was younger, I got told so many times as a child, what do you know? You're just a child. Yeah, yeah. But you know,
Yeah.
that child, golden child essence in me
Mm.
is fully alive and awake, and it's going,
Yeah.
it's coming. It is here.
Yes. We
We
can
can
feel
plug in
it.
now already. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we can drink from that well. We
Mm.
can drink that water. The
Yeah.
waters we've been drinking and thinking that it's meant to fuel us and nourish them, it's like it's toxic to our being.
Yeah.
You know, and like you said, then we invent things to do like cleanses
Mm.
and this, that, and other, and blah, blah, blah. I'm not
Mm.
saying that we can't help and support the body, but
So complicated.
we get here not
Mm.
even quicker. It's like it can't happen unless you sit with the attunement of the thing that we are, do you
Yeah.
know, and which is love. It's like
Yeah.
because sometimes that other stuff falls into it can fall into like battery or
Mm-hmm.
self-punishment rather than
Yeah.
anything because you think that you're meant to be getting feeling the thing, but it's just again another loop of
Mm.
trying to fix or trying to blah blah whatever it is, you know, bring it into
Yeah.
alignment. You already are in
Mm.
alignment. You just need to attune with the
Mm.
sound of alignment to bring it
Mm.
back to life. It's like a tuning fork.
Yeah. Like your granddaughter. And I
Yeah.
just I want to speak on that. I had a Montessori for a long time and just see what you explained with your granddaughter. It's like the child's will is the strongest will on earth.
Mhm.
You know, they will always win. You
Yeah.
know, it's a, and every parent comes to that realization a couple, you know, eventually. Um, and and the worst thing you could ever do is break a child's will, obviously, because then you have fractured their architecture to be a man or a woman. Um, but to speak on that is like that is where we are. That is the impulse of innocence. That
Mhm.
is that knows what's next for the evolution. Like you said, it tells her you need to learn how to do your shoes now, and
Mm.
she will do that. That's a
Mm.
divine impulse, you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you. Um, I feel like we've covered so much.
Mm.
I just really wanted to ask you for like just to kind of finish off on this, if that's unless you have something else
Yeah.
as well. But because we spoke about Africa and we spoke about Tantra and um oh yes, sorry. I just wanted to say one more thing that I wanted to say to that feminine wounding, or that sisterhood of competition and stuff. So, what we are witnessing as the divine will is coming through, a lot of petulance is coming up. It's been
Mm.
and like because of the mother drum, all the drums are beating everything out, right? So there's a lot of petulance that's coming up, just to remind people that there are no rights without responsibilities. So the
Mm.
quickest way to get your rights, if you well, truly are only all that is due to us is breath, and we're very lucky to have that. In fact, every breath is a gift, and to come from that place of humility is a really good starting point.
Mhm.
And um, and with that breath, and when you know the how your system works, that is all you need to
Mhm.
create your own oasis, your own expansion of your own heaven on earth.
Mhm.
If you use yourself correctly, if you command yourself with honor and with honor and integrity, you know. So the best way to get to your rights, if you want have rights, is claim your responsibilities. So that
Mhm.
is just something that will be massively uncomfortable for lots of women to hear. So I just wanted to say that to cause a little bit of disruption.
Throwing
Okay.
the seed in
Yeah,
there.
just throw
Another
that in
pebble
there.
in the
Thank you
pond.
very much. Okay. So I wanted to, yeah, I wanted to pull this together because I wrote something that came really close to true for me because I was witnessing this black snake, and it's
Mm.
Kundalini black snake, and witnessing it being a presence that was siphoning, that was pulling sexual energy, like we
Mm,
spoke of that in that clockwise current off, siphoning wormhole energy. And I've had some experiences with this before, but I was really got to see it properly. And I got to see that I spoke of that word titillation,
mhm,
this kind of rising people's kundalini energy to gather it. And when you spoke about Tantra, the Tantra that you know of from Africa, I loved that because you're speaking about just dancing with living energy. You're
yeah,
not using stolen, recycled, or trapped energy. You're It's dancing with living energy, and I love that. And it reminds me of what we saw. And if you wanted to share on this, what we saw when you went to that obsidian within Africa, you went through that water portal, went into that obsidian within Africa, which is, let's say, your resounding tone. So what's happening with we're being called to the fullness of ourselves. So somehow you, as this one woman, is able to house this tone, right? This truth of the obsidian. And when we went there, and it all makes perfect sense why your focus is erotic innocence, because what we saw was lots of very beautiful, actually, black snakes in just not activated the way they needed to be activated. And then we went through with I think we brought them to their correct frequency, I think, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it's almost like the picture of what is happening now. This
Mm,
energy, because it is our innate essence.
mm-hmm.
It's like the first thing that got corrupted and the last thing that's getting liberated, you know?
Yes.
And
Yes.
so that's why I said I know that before we were talking, because I forgot we were on the show. We've just been jibber jabbering all day.
Mhm,
Um, just that sense of I know now I'm on the other side because when we went into that and
mm,
saw them being held captive, almost it was like, oh,
mhm,
it needs to be freed. It needs to be a liberated energy and essence. And we've been taught so much that black and like snakes and Kundalini is like the
mm.
devil's work kind of thing. Because I
Yeah,
initially went, oh, like that a pit. Because the only other
yeah,
time I've seen that pit was yeah, I won't say what church, but it was under a church
mhm,
like thing of like the denouncing of the flesh, the denouncing of the
yes,
liberation of sexuality, that
mm,
thing of being not even celebrate, but abstaining from
mhm,
the natural impulse because it had been corrupted to be lustful,
yeah,
to be greed, to be instead of
mm,
like you said, just being with the impulse of life. That is it.
mm, yeah,
And walk your life as a living creation. That is
mm,
kind of it. So when we liberated that, it was like
mm.
for me, it was almost like seeing electric eels. Cool.
Yes.
Yes. And then electrifying the fields again. And then
They
the light.
received their golden light, didn't
They'd
they?
received the golden light.
Yeah,
So it was like,
yeah,
oh, they've got the spark again. So like when
yes.
it went off, when I saw the vision of them going off, it was like into a garden of it, the real Garden of Eden, not this
Mm,
story of the Garden of Eden,
yeah,
where we were the downfall of humanity. It's like, no,
partly so.
we were on the other side of the river where they could just roam free because we are
Mm,
part, because it was our energy.
yeah,
It was a symbol of our energy just roaming free, as in,
mhm,
that thing without it being coveted,
mm,
because the mass had been taught that it's down in the body instead of
yeah,
in the heart or connected to the
mm,
heart. And the women have kind of been pulled away from their pussy power and just be in the
mm,
heart. And it's like, no, I got shot. This channel between
mhm,
our sex and our hearts has to be the thing. It's the
yeah,
connection. It's the connection that got cut off. you know,
Mhm.
our upper body got cut off from the lower body. So it's like
Yeah.
the synergy now. That's what the snake symbol were coming back. They were
Mm.
bringing that, what we've seen as that dark, like erotic coding, the
Mhm.
true essence of that, the richness of that, like black,
Yeah.
damp soil, you know, full
Mm.
of nutrients. That's
Yeah.
life-giving qualities. We've just
Mm.
been taught to feel our orgasmic energy in our genitals, you know,
Mm.
and it's a sneak, it's like a not even a click of what we could the full potential. Because when I've
Yeah.
allowed that to go through me, the full essence
Mhm.
of that, when I've been in full connection with somebody, and it's not
Mhm.
sexual, as in there's no penetration, whatever, but there's
Mm.
been a circuitry of love that's been initiated
Yeah.
between the two, my
Yeah.
whole body, like, it just moves on its own, and the energy goes through and it rewrites my cells, and it's like the most healing quality elixir that you
Mm.
ever feel. And that's
Yeah.
how that energy is supposed to be restorative, regenerative. It's not supposed to
Yeah.
be depleted and then you have to go and
Mm.
suck it out of somebody else. Because at the
Yeah.
minute you're playing like sexual vampirism. That's how I see
Yes.
it. Because we're having to siphon that
Mhm.
out of somebody else to,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? To feel,
I do.
and then we've
Yeah.
mistakenly thought, oh well, that's sex feels really good, but then the hunger, like the starving,
Mm.
gotta get the
Yeah.
next one, gotta get the next one. And it's like,
Yes.
no, if you're running that circuitry, it's like you are full. And then you
Mhm.
can relate with you, a child, a
Mhm.
partner, with God, with earth, with whatever,
Mhm.
because it's you realize it's a synergy. Whoever you're relating with, that energy is just a rolling synergy, and that's what it was.
Beautiful.
And so the essence of tantra that I know was from the mother. We
Mm.
revered the mother, you know,
Mm.
and then, you know, we thought, well,
Yeah.
we'll take it out into the world. And then it was
Mm.
like, because people were so starved of like this
Mhm.
thing, it was like they began to corrupt the energy because they thought, again, it's always like faster, bigger, better, you know, has to be
Mm. Yeah.
faster. So it's like, how can we get there quicker? How we can feel the conflict really quick?
Yeah.
It became a sexual thing. Oh, if we jack our sexual energy up, or if
Mhm.
we, you know, like you said, play with the energy, manipulate the energy, move the energy,
Mm.
instead of just
Mm.
being with the energy. That's
Yeah.
the synergy, and that's where we're going to now. It's like yesterday I was walking and I'm wanting to be my resonance. And it's
Mhm.
so much slower than I've been going before because it's like that
Wow.
boom, boom. So I'm like
Mm.
walking, but I also take loads of shortcuts when I walk across the road and whatever. And
Mhm.
then I got told once before in human design that, oh, I'm not here for the details. My
Mhm.
wisdom just clicks in. It's that you don't know
Mhm.
where it's come from, it just happens and then you embody. And
Yeah.
as I was walking, like, how would my body move if I'm fully in my essence
Mm.
and what? And like, I had to stop laughing at it because it was like I was trying to walk and my brain was going, no, we need to get there. But my feet were like
Mm.
going at this space, so upper body, lower body were like, but once I got it, it was like,
Mm.
that's my tone, that's my frequency, that's my template. And like you said, all competition drops away when you're that
Mhm.
because you realize everything that you've gone through is unique to you. We're
Yes.
all unique, you know. We
Mhm.
all have a place to plug into Earth. We are all
Mm.
seeds of her. So it's like no competition, but we can then resonate with each other in a beautiful
Yeah.
way and relate with each other in a
Mm.
open-hearted, loving way, you know,
Yeah.
with nothing to get
Mhm.
apart from this flow of synergy between two, and it just lifts you up and becomes, you know, activates a remembrance each time you speak or each time you're
Yeah.
together of what love is, you know.
That's beautiful, Coco. This I feel that. I'm witnessing that right now, this
Mm,
synergy,
mm,
and I'm just seeing how everything will come to this understanding
mm.
because there's just not going to be an imbalance anymore.
No.
Because somebody always has to pay for the imbalance.
Mm-hmm.
And if we want to have a free world, then nobody can be in a deficit.
Mm,
Nobody can be paying for somebody else's freedom.
mm-hmm.
No one can take the bear the weight of somebody else's freedom anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So that means the ending of all war, the return of all the richness and what belongs to the people it belongs to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that of course means recognizing the people who have been stolen from, the cultures that have been stolen from, the countries. Also, it means to understand the mother body has been in all cultures, has been the place where that occupation, that harvesting is felt so tenderly, because it's truly in a greedy society, in an exploitative economy, children are the greatest commodity.
Yeah.
And we are reclaiming all of our children back from war. We
Mm-hmm.
are reclaiming the abundance that is due to our children, and we are reclaiming the replenishment and the regeneration and the eternal life that is due to our children now.
Mm.
Mm.
So beautiful. I just love that we've reached a place now where
Mm.
we realize we are speaking this into existence. It is us, you know, we are the resonance, we are the tone, we set the field, and the tone of our essence and vibration and voice. It's as simple as that, once you get into alignment with your sound,
Mm.
it's as simple as that. We put the ripples out, we speak it into existence. And this is why I think I've been getting a bit frustrated around. Let me just get there. It's so easy. All that thing we've done to get here, it's
Mm.
like, oh, yes, women, I know you have had a number done on you, and I
Mhm.
know that you have such a warped understanding
Mm.
of your body, your vessel, your
Mm.
vulva is connected to your voice.
Mm.
They are not separate things. And I know you've been taught to come away from your vulvas and to narrow your voices, the range of your voices.
Mm.
But I just want to say that there are those of us that are connected in that way, and we are sending out the clarion call. And I've created a beautiful guide in my book that has things for you to bring back that remembrance of connecting to the body, your vulva, your voice, so that you can begin to feel yourselves as master creators. What do you call them, Mary? Master? You call it a master?
Oh, I say vibrational masters.
Vibrational masters. I love that. As Mary calls them, vibrational masters, So
Mhm.
the tone that we're sending out is the tone of love, the tone of
Mm.
womanhood, the tone of what it is to have a seed of the cosmic womb inside your body, so that all this that you're projecting outwards and saying it's them out there and the patriarchy, this, that, and the other, it's like we have the power within us to create and rearrange that into a cohesive sound. We have the power to see that when we criticize and judge it, we are actually holding it in place. And we have the
Yeah.
power to know that just by bringing our focus inwards, we feel the full alignment of the mother. We are the mother. And we are birthing this new world, whether you want to believe it or not. That's what's happening. So let's just
It's
all get
happening.
on board the gravy train.
Oh, and there is so much gravy. It is so
There's
sweet
so
over here right now.
much swimming in the gravy.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Coco. Um, this has been gorgeous,
Mm.
really replenishing and really strengthening. And I look forward to re-listening and feeding myself
Yeah.
with your words.
There was a point in that when I was speaking, I thought, oh my God, I can't wait to listen to this one.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, I
Oh.
could just feel, like you said, and it as it is spoken, it is done. This because
Mm.
we have, like you said, we have found our resonance.
Yeah.
And as it is spoken, it is done. There is no distance. There's
Mm.
no the only resistance to birth is like the only distance of birth is resistance. There's no
Hmm.
resistance anymore in the voice,
No.
you know. And so it's the
Mm.
form is created.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
mm.
I
I'm going
just
to
want to
link
say
all of
something
your
about
stuff.
the voice.
Please do. I'm just
As
going to say,
in, so
yeah.
my journey with the voice. So when I was first debuted, I became mute
Mm,
because one, I couldn't
yeah.
speak because of the shock, but also because I
Mm,
stopped being believed. And so I've gone on a journey like to open my throat and to really connect it down into the womb
mm,
and feel that resonance go through all the way
yeah.
through my body. And like you said, now feeling that it's almost like sending sacred geometry out, or it's like when I see the waves
Mm,
go out, it's like I feel the waves go out as the words
mm,
of my mouth.
yeah.
It's like they're not the old um patterning around words or the
Mm,
understanding of what words are. It's like words are having a new frequency now because we're speaking them in a different tone. And
mm-hmm.
I really think that's why I was birthed dyslexic, because I don't see words like everybody else. It's
Yeah.
like I see them as a pattern or a shape. So it's like I know now that some of the words that we're speaking have different patterns, different shapes, different colours,
Mm-hmm.
to the old shapes,
Yes.
colours, patterns. And it's just like,
Mm,
oh wow, this is nuts. So we're going to say, because sometimes it looks like what is going on, but it's like it's just like you said, that line, we are speaking this into existence. Please, will you
mm-hmm.
just know that your voice is powerful, is what I wanted to say. It's more
Yeah.
powerful than you believe and have been led
Yeah.
to believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're always trying to shut us up. You know,
Yeah.
there's a logic to why they want to shut certain parts of our body up. It's not just
Yeah.
random.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like once you know that, it's like, right,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a rebel. So it's like, right, then I need to learn how to open the voice if that's what you want to shut up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like, let's
Yeah.
stop thinking that we have to fix the voice. It's just
Mm,
they try and close it because it's powerful. So let's just
yeah.
use it.
Yeah. That is so true. And if we are in situations now and we know something, because women have eyes in the dark, right? We know what isn't being said. We know what needs to be said, what's being called to be said. And that's one of our responsibilities is to speak that, because if we are coming to a place of reconciliation where all voices are heard, the
Mm.
fullness of the intention. So the winner has to listen to the loser has to listen to the winner, and we all become the one. So this is a place that women are occupying at the moment. Not just women, there's plenty of
Mm.
people with deep compassion who've walked through darkness too.
Mm.
Um, but we have an ability to speak to the wholeness of things, and when we do, like you said, if we don't do it from a place of wounding is fine too. If we just want to cry a little bit and give out, that's fine. But when we come to the place of speaking it from, oh, I remember the pattern of wholeness with this,
Mhm. Yeah.
then yeah. And but there's a power in that is not there without a woman's voice,
Yeah.
without an embodied woman's voice, without a woman whose heart you can clearly feel is a woman's heart. And there's
Mhm.
a difference between women who will sit in the seat at the table that is the token woman's seat. There's a difference between the form of a woman with a hollow heart that will happily amplify and multiply anything that is spoken because she wants to be accepted or liked. There's a difference between that and a woman's heart, which essentially creates the tone and the holding of any table she sits at.
Mhm.
And so it is the woman in her full heart that
Mhm.
is needed, that is the most prized piece of evolution,
Mhm.
because she cannot deny her heart.
Mm.
Therefore, she pushes evolution, you
Yeah,
know? Mm,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so nice, Coco. Oh, come over to the bright side, everyone. It's so sweet.
Um,
Okay. Okay, Coco, this has been beautiful. I'm going to link everything to do with Coco, her podcast, your book, and in the either in the description or the comments. I'm not sure how that works, but I'll get it there. And I'm going to share this as soon as possible. Do you have any last words, Coco, for us?
um, with my naive little self, yeah.
Yes, please.
That yeah, this I love the sensation in my body now because it's like this childlike innocence and wonder.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been conditioned out away from that, but trust me, that sense of imagination, of awe, of curiosity, of tenacity that you had when you were a child, that is
Mm-hmm.
like a homing signal. It is like the remembrance. It's the first thing that can bring you back into that remembrance of your innocence. And
Yeah.
I can really feel that in the field that it's coming forward. So just to say to people that if they are feeling that impulse, just know that please don't push it away. Don't buy into the distortion and condition of you need to be serious or sensible or whatever it is, because trust me, this is not a time for that. We're here to play and have some joy and
Mm.
sweetness and, really feel ourselves as master creators, that we are doing this in co-creation with life. And like Mary keeps saying, it is so much fun on this side of the table.
Yes, it is. Okay. Thank you so much, Coco.
Mm.
Blessings to you. Thank you, everyone, for being with us. And share if this feels gorgeous to your body and makes you feel excited or clarified, please share. And we will share the living word with everyone who can hear, because this is the thing. We have had enough of the recycled word, of, the rehearsed word, the perfected word, the safe word, the timid word. Um, we are not selling our voice for a bowl of soup anymore. We are free. Speak free. Love you all. Blessing.